Hello everyone and welcome to day 4 of Autumn Colors Craft Summit.
Yay.
Yes, today we are doing something really fun and new and different for us here, but not different for Emily because this is her passion. She loves to paint watercolor, and I like how you are making a project that someone who's never painted or has done watercolor before can do this and end up with a beautiful result.
Yes, absolutely. This is one of my new favorite ways to kind of integrate painting into something a little bit easier that a lot of people can do. And we come out with this beautiful piece of art, which thank you for sharing that, Brittany.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you want to share the progression of these really quickly.
So the first one that Emily did of this was the Maribel plum.
Yes, Mirabelle plum. We did this for the Mediterranean theme, which was a few months ago. And then some people really liked it, so we decided to make this a series, and we did a second one. This one's more fall themed, and probably going to do more in the future.
I would hope that there's going to be a winter and a spring because I want to hang these 4 on my wall in the kitchen.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4. So I like that they're slightly food themed as well.
Yes, definitely. So for our tools and materials today, we are going to be using the Vivani art paper pack, and we're going to be using the watercolor paper that's in this. I'm using the cloud paper, and this is just 8.5 by 11, or a standard printer size watercolor paper. So if you have anything like this at home, you can use that as well. And I've got a set of colored pencils over here. I pulled out some fall colors that's going to be close to the color palette that we're using. I've got our set of watercolors. Again, whatever you have on hand will be wonderful, as long as you've got some greens and yellows and maybe a little bit of brown. You should be good to go. A little bit of water for our paint, and your adhesive of choice. Today we're going to be using the Yes Paste, which is my new favorite for card making. It's just kind of like a glue stick in a jar, and I have a paintbrush, or a little scrap paintbrush here to apply that. I've got a pair of needle nose tweezers and some foam risers here that we're going to use to give this some nice depth.
I love that. And just a reminder for everybody, before you go any further, you can go ahead and ask questions. Anna is sitting back here. Anna, tell them how they can ask their questions.
Yes, hello everybody. Please type your questions in either to the chat or press the ask button, and we'll make sure Emily and Leah answers them for you.
Yes, absolutely. And we'd love to know if you're feeling like you like this concept and you want to do more. I also printed out the template. And so this is the PDF template, and this is really handy to have even if you're doing a Cricut, and I'll show you why. And then I've got the end of the photo tutorial comes with the layout of how you're going to lay out your pieces. So I've got both of these handy, and we're going to reference them both as we work.
Okay.
Yes. So
move some stuff around.
We're going to move some stuff.
Okay.
And you're going to want to have one piece of watercolor paper to paint on, and then another piece of watercolor that we're going to use for the backing. So keep one as a spare. I've got 2 spares and 2 for us to paint on. I'll set the spares aside for now.
So the spare goes behind.
Yes.
And I love it because the watercolor paper actually has somewhat of a texture to it. It's I don't know what
this one's called the cloud, and I really I've never used a cloud watercolor paper. I usually use
it's more toothy.
Cold press. I use a cold press, which is very toothy. And so this is more of a hot press. It's very smooth, but it's got this really pretty, you can't even see it in the video, but it's got a very pretty texture.
It does. It has a handmade paper texture.
But any watercolor paper will do. And you don't even have to use a watercolor paper as the backing. You can use whatever paper you'd like. But I really like the texture of this paper, so I wanted to see it.
Okay.
All right. So I've got a big fat brush for each of us, and you can just use the biggest brush that you have for this process. And we've got our watercolors. This is actually just a very basic beginner set that we sell in our shop. And I typically work with tube watercolors over pans, but these have been very fun and just as effective to work with. So we're going to start off just by wetting.
I think you should show them that. That's really fun too.
This?
Yeah. So this is from the piece.
This is from the piece. This is what we're going to be doing.
Yes.
This is from the piece that we already did.
And then show them the difference, because I love.
Let's do that.
Okay, okay. I just love the idea that there is no right and wrong.
No.
I mean, it's really just fun and play. And I think this could be fun for smaller children too, to paint, and then you can cut out their piece and frame it, and it's sort of this two-person artwork. You know?
100%. And I was experimenting with this watercolor paper a little bit yesterday, and something that I always do when I'm working in watercolor is I just go and completely wet the paper first. And you can do this in the tap if you want, and if you do both sides and let it kind of sit for a second, that prevents warping. Since we're not doing fine art today, that's not quite as important, but I am still just going to go ahead and soak one side of the paper because it's just going to make it easier to get our color nice and smooth. Smooth, we don't really want it smooth, but yeah, we'll get some fun. And then over here, while she finishes painting, I'm just dabbing some water in our pans just to get these nice and wet. And again, if you have a tap handy, you can just run this right in your sink and get water all over. Use a spray bottle, that'll work too. And today we're going to be using these orangey colors and these greens over here. And since I've worked with this palette a little bit, I kind of know which colors are which, but you can always have a spare piece of paper sitting around to test out your colors or mix in the little top tray. So this is where we're going to go ahead and take a look at our printout from the PDF. And this is going to show us where things are going to cut out. If you're not using an SVG to cut this out, what I want you to do is go ahead and print this directly onto your watercolor paper. So you're going to print the SVG directly onto, the PDF directly onto your watercolor paper. And if you go ahead and test it with water and see if it comes up, if the ink lifts, and if it does, just take a nice little fine pen or a colored pencil, something that's not water soluble, and just trace the lines, and that will keep that in place so you can cut it out once you're done.
And that's an option. You don't have to do that, but it makes it really easy to cut out.
Yeah, I mean, you do have to do that if you're doing it by hand.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
Otherwise, you don't. I mean, I guess you could just use it like a traditional pattern, and that would work too. But yeah, whatever you'd like. So I'm going to, like I said, this is going to be the pattern it's going to cut out in. So we're going to start with some nice green up top where the leaves are, and then blend down into brown where the stem and the acorn details are. I also want to keep in mind these are fall themed, so these leaves can be a little bit brown, a little bit green, a little bit yellow, and this is where we really get to play with the watercolor.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna do some yellow on here, and I'm going to go a little crazy. Just kind of let yourself play. These watercolors layer really nicely, and they lift when you paint over them, so nothing is really completely permanent.
And if you start to feel like it's getting a little thick, just add some water onto your paper, right?
I would say this paint takes a bit to build up, so it's going to take time to get it to feel thick.
All right. The beautiful thing about watercolor too is it starts to bleed into itself, which is really beautiful.
And that's one of my favorite things about watercolors. I love how it bleeds. And you can see this is scary, right? This is like mud, but it's gonna be fine. We're gonna add more colors in there. Oh yeah, it'll be fine.
I trust you. All right.
Yeah, I want a little bit more of a limey green, so I'm just mixing some yellow and some green. And this is really just go kind of crazy. Don't worry about this being perfect, because the more character is in this initial watercolor wash, the more interesting your piece is going to be.
It's true. Very true.
Don't color match mine. Do your own.
Oh, okay. I'm just following you.
Yes, and I want to show you this one again to just kind of illustrate like how different they can be. It's going to give you just a fun, similar result. And I have one that I actually did last night in preparation for today, because this is going to take some time to dry. And it's going to look even different, even more different. boop, boop.
It looks really fun.
Yeah.
Inspired.
I am too. This makes me want to go back and do some painting again.
And this is something that I was doing yesterday is I just kind of took some orange and I just like blobbed it in, just kind of like, this would be maybe where some leaves are starting to turn orange. You could do this with green. You could do whatever feels good for you.
I would love to make this with my kids and give it to grandparents as a holiday gift.
That's
Oh,
a
yeah.
great idea.
And have them sign it.
And up here's feeling a little too dark, so I just grabbed some more green, a little bit of yellow, and I'm just gonna go right over the top. And you can see it just blends, it blends out. You can just kind of layer this. Something I would recommend with watercolor is letting it mostly dry before going in with a second layer if you want to darken it even more, because just adding it will kind of move it. You can see when I put that green on, that dark color just got completely displaced, if that makes sense.
Sure. I'm curious to know, I will bet you there are people out there watching today who have taken a lot of painting classes.
I
and
bet.
Probably some watercolor
I
classes.
absolutely bet. I started watercoloring, I think in like 2013 or so, and I got really into it. And over quarantine, I was just looking back at my personal work, and oh gosh, I did so much art back in 2020 when we were all stuck inside.
Yeah.
That was
Well,
before I worked here.
I did watercolor in college.
I've seen some of your watercolors. They're gorgeous.
It's been a long time. Okay. Look, mine looks completely different.
It looks
than
completely
yours.
different, and that's great because each one is going to have its own personality and its own kind of interesting take. So what I would do is go ahead and set this aside and let it dry. If you decide you want it to be a little bit darker, you can add another wash, or you can just go from there. And if you have printed it on your template, you'll just go ahead and cut it out. Otherwise, go ahead and stick it on a Cricut mat and then run it through your Cricut.
What's the settings on that?
So this I just ran as heavy cardstock.
Okay.
And I made sure to, when I gave you the SVG, it looks exactly the same as the PDF. So it's all the same color and it's in the same format. So it will just exactly cut the same. Now we're just gonna move this out the way. Here we go.
Okay.
So, yeah, you can see this one's pretty different even from this first one that I did. We've got a lot more orangey tones. And I did want to show you, let's go ahead and take this one. Hopefully this cut through. Uh-oh. Worst case, we'll just cut it by hand.
We'll cut. Let me grab some scissors. I'll do that.
So you might want to do the heavy cardstock more setting. So you can see here where it cut through. I don't know if you can see this yet. I have a little bit of white space at the top of my leaf. And this happened the first time as well. And I just went back and added a little bit of color to the top of this. Oh, of course, I need the watercolors.
Oh, okay.
But I found that it actually made a really interesting mark. I'll show you on this one. This is where, this is where I missed a spot, and it just kind of looks like the leaf is folded, and I think it looks really good. So we're just going to go ahead and take a little bit more color. Maybe I'm going to go with a really light yellowy green, something that will transition easily, and I'm just going to touch that up.
Super easy.
Yeah, just really easy. Just add a little color. Maybe even do a dash of orange there, because it's just like it's turning brown in the fall. And from there, we'll just kind of let that dry, blend it out if you want to. Watercolor's so fun. And if you did it right, unlike me, you should be able to just pop these right out.
Well, that looks pretty good.
So we're just going to pop them out and make sure you keep all your pieces in a little tray so they don't get lost.
Oh, that looks so pretty.
Yes.
Look how that starts to look like a rounded acorn.
Yes, and you can see how these, what were random swooshes and lines, just kind of, it looks very intentional once the pieces are cut out, or just kind of interesting and artistic.
Want me to help you pull some of these out?
Yeah, we might
This
need
is
to cut
actually
some of
this
these.
is actually pretty good. I maybe the little here.
Yeah, we'll have to cut some of these, but it's okay.
I'm gonna let you do the leaves and I'll do these. How's that?
Perfect.
That's why there's two of us here.
Yeah, welcome back.
Thank
We
you. Missed you guys
yesterday.
I actually have my little white owl. I'm gonna sit and watch the video and do a little make along with you guys. Make my little white owl ornament.
Yeah, you should post that on Crafters.
Okay.
So here's the leaf that I missed the top. And it's a little white still, but it's kind of got this
I like it.
orangey tip, and I think it looks pretty cute. And if I wanted to go and darken it even more with more green, I definitely could. Just kind of take out any white spots. But we are going to also be adding some colored pencil details.
So we do have two questions.
Yeah.
Anna is wondering if you can use a sponge type brush. Will it change the look you're going for?
Oh, I mean, it's the look you're going for. So if you want to go ahead and test it out on a piece of paper and see if you like the way that it looks, I would say go for it.
Yeah, I think the sponge brush, the idea of watercolor too is when it's so watery like that, it runs.
Mm-hmm.
So however you get the medium onto the paper.
Or rather than running, it would be bleeding. It kind
Or
of
bleeding,
bleeds out
yeah.
and the colors kind of merge together. If you feel comfortable with the sponge brush and you like how it looks, definitely.
Yeah.
I feel very comfortable with the paintbrush, so I just stick with what I like.
Yeah.
And then Elaine is wondering what weight is your watercolor paper?
This is 300 pounds. 300, is that what, how is it? Pounds?
give me the package. I'll read it there.
It's 300
Grams?
Grams.
Per-
I was like, wait, that doesn't
yeah,
sound
it's
right.
usually grams per square meter, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, and again, I think that this would work with any paper that can take water should be fine. Watercolor paper is made to absorb water.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually generally cotton-based, which is why you can get it, stick it under the tap, and it's not going to fall apart.
Right, and the thing that I would probably recommend is if you are using a different watercolor paper other than what we sell in our shop, I would probably not do a cold press. I would do a hot press so it's a bit smoother. I feel like the toothiness may not cut as well on the Cricut. Now, that's just my guess, not to say you can't.
Yeah, you could just hand cut it. These shapes
You
are
could hand cut, yeah.
not too difficult to cut.
We are hand cutting, right?
We are. Yes.
Elaine says, can't wait to try this. Thank you so much for the variety of products you are offering.
Yay.
Yeah, thanks you guys. I know our crepe paper flowers are always the most popular, but I just wanted to share some other options because, you know, sometimes we want to do something else. And this is such a great gift for people.
You could potentially just downsize the design and make a little card or something.
You could, yeah.
I had even smaller little details in my original design that I just took out because I was
Yeah.
like, this is too complicated.
I think this is quite small enough, and especially when you do those added details with the scissors. Look how gorgeous that is. That is so pretty. The colors, the textures, oh.
Yes. And this paper sat overnight to fully dry. Before I cut it, I found that you could even just wait a couple hours. Or if you have a heat gun, you can kind of accelerate that process along.
So I just want to say from a personal experience, I love the variety. So I hosted a girlfriend's paper crafting event last week.
Yes, you did.
And I am planning on making this with my kids.
So cute.
Yeah, so different crafts for different ages, I guess. But I'm having fun with all of them.
Yes.
And as I always say, you know, variety makes you better at all of your crafts because you learn little things, little tricks.
It's true.
Okay, this is probably, I like this even more than this one.
Wow.
I love this one, but I really like this one.
We got a little more saturation when I did my second round.
Sure.
Okay, Once you've got all your pieces together, I'm going to go ahead and just let you finish.
I want to say something about saturation too. There's something about watercolor that I think I remember, and Emily, you can back me up if this is true or not. I mean, honestly, when this dries, it might be a little more pastel than I would prefer. So I think you can't go wrong by getting more color on the paper.
Yeah, I mean, you can see here where we have quite a bit of this kind of dark tone. This is probably going to stay this color. And again, you can see the bleeding out. And here you can see there's kind of a, I don't know if you can see it, there's like a little puddle.
Of water.
That's kind of dispersing this brown in a really interesting way.
Cool,
And you can even like manipulate it, bend your paper and let it drip down.
Yeah, I would probably add more color though, and because I'm loving this so much.
Yeah.
But
yes. Okay. So once you've got all of your pieces set out, you can either, this is what I did when I originally did it, is I laid everything out just to make sure that it is where I want it to be. So I'm using my reference here and I'm just going to copy it. I'm not using any glue right now. I'm just kind of loosely assembling where everything's going to go so I can get it centered before I glue anything. And you can kind of match your pieces, see where things go. Looks like that one's over here. Got this one here. This one kind of overlaps. This one I had on a riser. This one goes up there. And then you've got our little acorns. So these ones will go there and there. Our little stick.
Kim says it looks like so much fun. I'm excited to try it. I really hope you do more of these.
Yay! Yeah, we definitely
agree.
will.
We need to get a winter one done.
We will. We'll do a winter one. We've got winter coming up. Okay, that goes there. And we've got a little one. Boop, boop, boop. This is just to get the idea, so it's okay if it's a little off. And then the pokey one goes up here.
Pokey one.
It actually is turned around, but it's fine.
Yeah.
And that goes there. So this is the loose arrangement. I can see I'm a little too far this direction, so I might scoot everything a little bit. It's nice to just directly compare. Yes, I do love the colors on this one. It turned out really nice. Okay, now I've got this arranged. We're going to go ahead and move on to adding our details. And for that, we're going to be using our colored pencils. And what I started off with for the leaves is I'm starting with this really light green. This one is in lime peel. And it's just something that's close to the paint color that you used. And obviously there's a lot of colors on here, but it's okay. I'm going to use this just to kind of sketch out where I want my leaf line to be without committing too heavily to a really dark line. You can see I'm just using a light hand sketching it out. You can use pictures of oak leaves to give you a nice example of what these look like in nature.
You can also look at a close-up photo of this piece in the post itself. See what Emily did to...
Yes, and so what I know about oak leaves is they have one stem that goes all the way down and then little ones that go out towards each point, and then almost kind of little airy light ones that stem out from that. And I'm going to go ahead and hand this over to you and let you go over it with the darker green.
Okay.
And I would keep the darker towards the center and then lighter as you work out.
So it's nice to have the color that's very similar to start because it's not going to show up
Quite
as much,
yeah.
and it's a good way to sketch.
Exactly.
Oh, yes.
Okay, you want to scoot over a little?
Sure.
Okay. Doop. This is really delicious looking water. A nice little snack. Okay, we're continuing with the next biggest leaf, and for this one it's got this nice S curve, so I'm really going to work with that when I do my line. Continue. And when you're adding on these little side lines, have them come up from the center and move in instead of going straight out.
Yes.
So you're kind of starting from center.
You're kind of giving it a little curve. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't want it going like straight out. And another thing is if you wanted to practice these shapes and really know what you're going to do before you put it on the watercolor version, you can sketch out over here on your template.
Oh, there we go.
And just make sure that you know exactly where your lines are going to go. This is a great place to experiment. You can see I was testing colors for my first version. Here you go. And I'm just going to continue, and I'll pass these off to Mom to finish.
I feel like I put too many veins in this one. Here, I'll show you.
I think that's looks
that okay?
great. Yeah.
All right. I'll probably do a little less on the rest.
I would say keep it relatively consistent, but you can keep that in mind.
Okay.
And this is the one that I added water in the end, and I love how it looks. It looks crispy.
It does. It's a cute word for fall leaves, crispy.
And that's all. Boop. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and let her finish off the leaves, and we're going to work on these little acorns. So for the acorns, on the round part of the acorn, the bottom, the nut part, I'm going to go ahead and give this a little bit more of a 3D appearance. And I did this with the Mirabelle plums as well. And in this version of the paint, it actually ended up really nice where I have this kind of shadow already built in. But we're going to just amplify that a little bit. I hope I have dark enough colors.
I can go grab some if you need.
Should be fine. We'll see how it goes. So I've got a darker orange. I maybe would get more of a brown because these did end up pretty dark, but let's see how this looks. And to add a shadow, this is a really great tip if you are wanting to shade 3D objects. To add a shadow, we're not going to shade all the way up to the edge. That's going to keep it looking really flat. We're actually going to add a shadow just a little bit away from the edge. So there's a little gap right in between. And this is going to give it a really nice 3D appearance without it looking super flat. So I've got that little line.
And the reason why, I'm going to say, it's almost like there's a backlight hitting the edge.
Exactly. It's called a bounce light.
A bounce light. There we go.
So we're just going to do that. Bring it down. Then go to the other side. It's a little light over there, so I'm just going to leave it naturally shaded with the paint. And then once I have that, you can see that nice little line right down the middle. I'm going to take a slightly lighter color. Start with this one. Just kind of add a little bit of highlight right down the center. And there we
Beautiful.
go. That one's good. I'm going to leave that like that. Let's do this one. Do you want to put those leaves kind of loosely back in place?
Okay, let's see.
That one goes down here.
Yep, you're right.
So I'm following the same thing for this acorn, giving a little shadow slightly away from the edge.
I noticed that the twig nodules line up with the leaves too. That's really helpful.
And on this one, it doesn't quite have as much of that natural with the watercolors, so I'm going to be a little bit more generous with my shading. I've got this gold one that's got kind of this very intense shadow. If it gets too dark, you can always blend it out with a little bit of a lighter color.
Elaine is asking about the other one that you have completed, and is it available on the site?
It is, yes. Go ahead and you can just search Mirabelle Plum in the search bar, and it should pop right up.
Yep. It was just a few months ago, so.
We didn't do a video for this one. It's just a photo tutorial, but I love how these little plum, and I shaded them the exact same way that I'm shading the acorns. I just added highlight up top and then some little dots to kind of look like spotted plums.
Yeah, same method, very much so. Super cute. 2 of the 4.
Okay, I've got those ones done and this one. And then, yeah, sorry, I'm gonna just go.
Just go for it.
I'm using this gold color to add shadow to the darker areas. I forgot how dark this gold is.
What's the name of that gold? Is it just gold?
It's metallic gold.
Metallic gold, okay. And these are all from the Prismacolor set.
Some of these are from the larger set.
Okay.
I feel like most of us crafters have colored pencils laying around.
Sure.
So
Yeah, and also you can get singles at the art supply store.
yes, definitely. Or whatever colors you need, whatever you have on hand.
Yes, that's the beauty of art. You just kind of let it have its own voice and not make it exactly like everybody else's.
Yes. Okay, I've got my tops to my acorns. And for this, I'm going to do the same thing, add that shadow with the line, but this time I'm kind of going to just lightly sketch out because these have a texture on them. So I'm lightening my stroke and just letting the paper texture kind of show through. You can go as crazy with this as you want. You can sit there and add details on this if you want it to be more detailed, or let it be kind of abstract.
And I'm noticing on these, the color is a little more similar, where on this, the color of the caps are
Quite a bit different.
Quite a bit different. So there's no right and wrong. It is whatever comes out.
I know I did a little cross hatching, so I went one way and then the other way to give just a dash of that acorn top texture.
Love it.
Boop, boop, boop. Okay, I've got my acorns done, and now we're going to go ahead and put these little cuties together. So we will be adding just a little bit of glue right along the rim of our acorn.
Yes, paste.
Yes, paste. I love this stuff. So I've got just a little glue, and I'm just going to paint it on the top. And this is where your tweezers really come in handy, because we want to make sure we get it right in line.
Are there specific tops? Does it matter? Can you, I mean, obviously this one's smaller.
Yeah, for the bigger ones, they're the same.
Okay.
You just want to make sure you like where they're sitting.
And the thickness of the paper gives it a really nice 3D feel as well.
And if you need to add a little more glue, you always can. This glue dries nice and clear. We need to get this in our shop again. Or do we have it? I don't remember.
I don't think we have it right now, but it is a good glue. Here, do you want me to finish that?
Sure.
Okay. And then you're going to do the little inside bits of the little tiny bit.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember if I added colored pencil to the stick and all.
Not the stick, just the little guys.
The little guys. Okay, so for the little guys, I'm just going to use tweezers to pick these up. And it looks like I just did the shadow lines on these guys. And a little in the middle. They're kind of brown, so I'm going to add some more orange. These are baby acorns. And then on one side, the opposite side that's attached to the stick, I'm just going to do a dot, a little dot that's going to be the end of the acorn piece. And that was one of those details that I had originally in my design, but I decided to draw that on instead.
It's a lot of layers.
Come here, little guy. There we go. So for the slightly oval balloon-shaped one, the dot is going to be on the rounded side. And then we'll just do this.
These look so cute.
And a little orange.
Little happy acorns.
Little happy acorns. Cute. Okay, great. So we've got most of our pieces here ready to go. Let's go ahead and glue on.
Keep your head back.
Let's go ahead and glue on our stick. Since this is the base for the whole thing, we'll glue this on first.
Okay.
Yes, maybe I'll use this as a glue base.
Well, that's a good idea. And yes, paste is Emily's favorite, but you might have your favorite.
That's kind of why I said your adhesive of choice. You do want to stick with something that's low moisture content. So for this, the art glitter glue is not ideal because it tends to warp the paper.
Right. It is pretty wet. That would probably be similar to any type of card making.
Yes. Okay. So this is, again, you can have a little variation if you want the stick to go more straight up and down or go the opposite direction. It's kind of going to be up to you. And we'll just keep going.
So Yes Space does take a little bit of time to dry.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to be gentle with your piece while it's drying.
I'm being bold and just painting right on my paper since I'm not going all the way to the edge with the
Sure.
leaf. Okay.
I'm actually putting risers on the back here for prepping for you.
Thank you. Yes. So
We'll show you which ones we did a riser on.
That's right about there. There you go. Thank you. Okay. Next leaf.
And also, I like that it's not completely pasted on. If it has a
Yeah.
little curl away from the paper.
Definitely. So I am kind of intentionally applying the glue only to the center of these leaves, a little bit up the bulkier edges, but we're not going all the way to the end because I kind of like that it has this shadow underneath.
I don't think that was the right place.
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. Oh, you did change it. Okay. There we go.
I mean, yeah, they're,
That's okay.
like I said, they're all different. You can kind of
Put it where it looks good.
do where you like it. Let's double check that we have enough space for our stem. So I'm going to put that one in next. Boop, boop, boop.
I feel like this is a perfect merge of art and craft.
Mm-hmm. Does that look right to you?
That looks great. Yep.
Doop. If you like this craft and you want to do more for winter, etc., let me know if you have any ideas for what kind of plant you want.
I said food related, but you really probably don't want to eat acorns.
No.
The squirrels will, but
I mean, you can make acorn flour. What else can you make it with acorns?
I don't know. What can you make with acorns? You can make little gnome-y type ornaments for your tree.
Acorns are just cute.
They are. They're happy.
Mm-hmm. So we've got one that's going to go up. This is where I can decide which ones I want where. So we'll get this one up here. Maybe I should do this one. Oh, you put risers on these? Thank you. Okay, I'm actually going to save that then. Let's wait and do the leaves.
I'm going to just poke down your little stems.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is how my mom would be when I was doing artwork. She'd come over and be like, oh, well, how about we just poke that down?
We come from a whole line of artists.
The acorn does not fall far from the tree.
Stay down.
Well, and also once you have everything in place, you can always put a book on top
Yes,
of it.
absolutely. That's what I'm kind of planning on doing. This looks like it goes right about here. We just want to make sure we have room for our acorn bit.
Yeah, don't crowd the acorn.
Should be good. And our last glued leaf. I did glue the little mini acorns, so we will glue those. The baby acorns. Last little glued babies. Boop, boop.
This is so pretty.
And it's so easy to assemble. Like this goes so fast once you start putting it together. This is definitely less than an hour craft apart from drying.
I would think so.
Okay. So these are all the pieces that I glued on. For the rest of them, I'm going to be using the foam risers because I like this 3D effect that it gives us.
And these are the larger ones.
So she's already put those on, thank you. We'll just go ahead and peel off the backing and place them on.
If you were going to put a book on top, I would do it before you put the foam risers on, so that you can get it nice and glued, and then add these last. But it's up to you.
Yeah, or you can really just like put something weighty down
Sure.
right where it's lifting if you want to get those to stay down.
I don't think you guys want to sit here and watch the glue dry. So
What? You don't want to hang out with us while the glue dries? And last but not least, our last little leaf, which I love having this last leaf with this 3D effect. I think it looks so cute.
with a
And
little
I kind
overlay.
of just have it overlapping, and we're done.
There
That's
we
it.
go.
And from here, you can just go ahead and put this in a frame. And since it's 8.5 by 11, it's pretty easy to find
Yeah.
a frame that fits. It's just a standard frame size.
This is a matted frame, so it fits right inside the mat. You can find these at art supply stores. I think we bought this from IKEA.
Mm-hmm. And again, you can see the pretty big difference in color just because we painted them. I painted them on different days in different moods.
Sure. This one has a lot more orange, and this is a bit more yellow. This one has,
Some blue to it too.
yeah,
Yeah,
and they're both really beautiful.
great. Well, that's it. We
That
did
is
it.
it.
So Elaine has a suggestion. She is wondering if a hellebore would work for the winter project.
I love that idea. I
Oh,
love hellebore. They're one of my favorites.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
That
Done
is
deal.
great. There we go, but not a double hellebore.
No,
Keep it to the single.
hellebore.
Yes, we have hellebore coming up this month, you guys. You're going to love
Next one.
this next month, meaning November. You're going to love the November collection.
Yep.
So tomorrow is our last day, which is technically our member make as well, and we are going to be making the Virginia Creeper.
And gosh, it is so gorgeous.
It is. Here we are.
This red color is just mind-blowing. Megan did an outstanding job with this, and it should be really fun to watch her make.
Yeah, I love this so much. I mean, you can just use it as is in a vase or on the table, and it's just beautiful.
Yay.
But so much fun trying some different techniques and different types of crafting, different types of, I mean, I think that all of what we do is a little bit on the art side anyway. To
For
me,
sure.
this is a piece of art, don't you think?
Absolutely.
So how fun is this? And it just inspires me to want to go back and paint.
Yay. Well, I hope you're all feeling a little bit inspired to paint today, and have a great rest of your Thursday.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow.